I see that my microphone cable is not plugged into. Okay, working. Yes, there we work. Finally, welcome everyone to the lovely qualifier number 3 of the ESL Southeast European Championship, and thankfully I'm with a lovely guy from Ireland. The flag that, I think that's the only flag in the world that has orange in it. I would think so.
No, Ivory Coast has the exact same flag, but it's just in a different order.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're saying the truth here, but well, it's Kliktech versus HEADSHOTBG. Both teams could be known, but there we see already Ian. We've seen bust him, and there we go. Wow, it took us a while, and it's lovely to have you here, Dinko, because surviving through this alone would be probably a little bit of a hustle. But
yeah, well, I think you're alone for the meantime. I don't have the server IP.
That's cool. I'm taking care of that. I got you.
There we go.
Right. You know, we didn't have any prep time to do anything, so how could I forget that?
Alright, yep. I suppose I rewatched the stream. It was a pretty standard pistol round. Headshot able to pick it up quite easily. Get themselves 2 AKs, 3 UMPs, heavy on the SMG buy. My CSGO crashed, so rip in that.
I love it. Well, Kliktech is kind of known. A few of you might know it from the actual East European scene. Is HLTV listed? That's something at least. And so far, well, not leading that charge, not leading what they actually need to do. We're just waiting for them to do the right kind of move, but it seems like even that round is not going according to their plan, at least. And I see Dinko. Okay, it's cool. It's cool. You know, Dinko is going to be my analytic assistant.
Yeah, I can't get on the server.
Does it work now?
Well. No, it just keeps saying server is full. So we had this issue a couple of weeks ago. Seems like they haven't managed to get it fixed in the time.
No problems. I mean, we got this. I mean, we can talk about the ESL Southeast European Championship as it is the third qualifier, and going over and over and over, you're going to see more and more games coming in from them. And now I'm just hoping and waiting that this is going according to plan. But funny story for you as well. My Skype makes noises. This is the first. There we go. I wanted to say my little browser disappeared where I have the ESL stream on, so it just goes better and better from time to time.
It's going well. High-end productions. I suppose I can rewatch the stream break down the rounds, so I can watch that while you take them through the play-by-play, and then...
If you want to, I can pretend like I have a 50-second delay, and you just watch it simultaneously to me.
Okay.
You can play analytic, so you can just read through.
Yep. Okay, let's go for it.
So, well, I don't know about you, but Kliktech here in Cash seem to be a little bit lost in the beginning. They're going to figure it out anyway, and if you're kind of confused what's happening here, Dinko is going to be with us in just a second.
They did get the 2 AKs though on the CT side, so that gives them. They're going to save those over towards B, so that does give them a good bit of cash to work with, or a bit of weaponry at least into that next buy round. And you can start to build up your cash. Obviously, CT side economy generally the harder side to build up the cash flow. HEADSHOTBG are going to have a very good way of things. They've kept quite a few players alive, picked up the first 2 rounds rather convincingly. And, you know, it's Kliktech, they have their work cut out for them, but at least they've got the 2 AKs and they've got a bit of cash now in the bank for the next couple of rounds. So, not a bad outcome.
No, not at all. And what we see right now is basically Kliktech going for that buy. Let's see. I mean, you might be a little bit confused what is actually happening here. We just hope that our lovely Dinko is getting what he deserves.
There isn't that much delay as well on the stream, I suppose, so that helps. There's like a
Where are you at right now?
5 seconds. 1 minute and 49 seconds into the round.
Fourth round?
What? 4th round, and the clock is 1:42.
Okay, you're actually not far away.
Okay, how many seconds average? What's your estimate? How many seconds ahead are you?
I'm at 24, 23, 22.
So around 7 seconds. Not bad.
No, it's okay. I mean, it kind of works. You just you just say what happens in the end.
Yeah.
But you know, HEADSHOTBG having that 1 minute advantage as Berkey already gets taken down, and so is going to be that happening with Bomis. Bustum save as well as Stoll need to be coming up.
Oh, I got into the server. This is good.
You doing it?
Yeah, they told someone to leave, so they let me in. So
I'm going to disconnect now, and you just cast. See you later.
Alright, yes, man. Alright, so it's going to be somewhat of an easy round for the T side yet again. They come onto the bomb site. Bustum is able to pick up a kill. That's the retake kind of getting underway, but Harrington has a lot to say about that. And actually, Bustum comes in from A main, finds himself a nice kill, and that puts it into a 2 versus 2, a second from him, so it's currently on here. Looks like Kliktech may have a chance here. They've got the UMP, and that's all. Like, he's sticking the bomb here.
Oh, no, that could have worked, but he has the kit, and so the 5 seconds are making it all existence. HEADSHOTBG picking up that third, and I don't know about you, but that one AWP is a nice item to have with you, but otherwise the CT economy is just far away from looking good, actually.
Yeah, even after winning a round, you can see they're a little bit on the back foot here. Although HEADSHOTBG, their economy isn't great, even after winning so many convincing rounds. There's $0 left in Harrington. Rainwalker with only $400, and that Molotov actually going to deal a bit of damage, but they've headed out towards middle. This setup in middle is one of the most common setups now, but it was around a couple of years ago, maybe 1.5 years, it really wasn't used. It was really Hellraisers that started to bring this standard play into cash. So it's interesting they dropped down into that area, and CT's going for a bit of aggression here.
It's a nice Molotov. Falling here in front of the feet of Staffy, and we see one player from HEADSHOTBG disconnected. Pause is just on its way, probably, but first of all, we need to see how it will go. Because that's 60 seconds, and having a man disadvantage as well as 2 players that are actually kind of hit, you know, down to 69 and 66. Both are one-shot headshots for them for, and once they're taking a too aggressive approach into this, it might just not work out at all. Stoll pops a flashbang for middle, doesn't help him at all because Bohm is on the other side, gets taken down. Berkey thinks twice about his movement. Oh, that grenade.
Well, 5 HP.
Whoa, surprise, actually.
Yeah, you can see what the T-side wanted to do there. They're going for an A split, but it doesn't really matter. They leave that guy in Squeaky. They're able to just walk up highway and get 3 kills, and that's a complete and utter relapse of the CT defense as they aren't able to find anything into the round just yet. Bustum is finally going to make that happen. Opens the kill off towards Squeaky, but now his position is known, and the after plant positions are quite established at this point. But he said that you have 2 low players, so a nade could finish off one of them. But the CT's call here is to just save those weapons, and that's the correct call for me at this point. Not enough time to really get in on that bomb site.
And as you see right now, it's not even 100 HP that are there existing onto the side of HEADSHOTBG, but they're still making it out, evacuating from the site. Save as much as you can. Break has been called. 4-1 it will be, and it seems like the Bulgarian side is taking that over step by step very easily.
So what's your opinions on this ESL Southeast Europe Cup? Because I feel as though it's really good to have sort of an insight into the teams in this region, because you don't really get to have that experience watching some of the teams casting these teams, because generally they're not at any premier events, not premier events. I mean, you don't really see them at any events really. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a few. You know, X Outlaws. I mean, you know Outlaws probably. You know Nexus maybe. So those are the guys who actually stand out. I mean, you might remember Victor and Bubble. They played at
E-Frag. They were on.
They were once, but then they were at Mortal Kombat. So a few names might just be existent. I mean, the biggest one is Wendigo, right? They were at the EU Minor, if you remember, and they were X Outlaws once in a while. So basically coming down to that, it's nice to have that insight. I mean, regional scenes offer us various things. For example, Nico is exactly from that scene. He's from that region. So it's nice to have a few individuals. For example, Epsilon bought Cosmine. If you remember him, maybe he's very young, very talented, but he was actually in a team that participated here at the SEC.
Yeah, that's also extended upon that point. You don't really see teams as such. There's some teams, like you say, Wendigo and stuff, they'll actually have like a full roster of players from this region, but standout star players aren't ever on these teams. You can see Nico, he's brought on to obviously My Sports starting with, so you don't really see these teams come out of those areas that are actually have a very solid team. Such as Oscar comes out of the Czech Republic. He's on a international roster. Though. So yeah, you know what I mean. Those types of scenes I'm saying don't have like a really standout team that you would consider a world contender. So it's good to finally, you don't really see teams have a full roster of these players, is what I'm trying to say.
True. 100% agree on that. Thing is, though, what you have to see on the other side is, I'm trying my best to get a hand wrap around here, because the individuals are often a key factor. I fully agree there with you. But on the other hand, I don't know.
Well, this low economy buy from the CT side seems as though they're wanting to go for a bit of aggression, trying to find out some info, expecting perhaps a boost from the T side. You can see a player has dropped down underneath the area that the T side have been doing this sort of default. So this is actually quite a good read from the CT side at this point, because Headshot, they've been going for those that exact mid presence. They've been dropping off top of the boost, going down inside of that. I like to call it marshmallow and slime. I don't know what their calls are, but I know what the calls are for in other countries, but that's pretty much the standard play. They've been dropping down into slime and then heading out middle. So you can see Bomez is posted up here, perhaps waiting for the player to hop down and get the frag there. That's a nice and standard default coming out here by HEADSHOTBG.
I think I gotta tell you something. You have the most lovely accent in the entire world. No, really, that Irish, it's unusual to hear in casting. I mean, there's this guy called Boogie who's a little bit from there, but you still have it in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's lovely. It's awesome. I love it. Really.
I come from the north, so we do have a bit of a different accent. It's kind of mixed within Scottish and stuff, but here comes the aggression for the CT side. It's starting to work out. They find themselves 5. That's an absolute shutdown there. HEADSHOTBG, they walk out mid with the AKs. They post themselves up slow, but end up going to the slaughterhouse. And that all comes down to me not finding info. And T side, right, you just wait. You don't find any info, and you just decide, okay, let's hit mid, and they walk out middle, and they get trashed upon.
Oh, probably summing it up right here exactly as it is, and we see Kliktech coming up with some kind of decent buy here. Going for the aggression, actually, and it's 3 players to go for the aggression. Very unusual to see, because you don't normally expect, okay, 1 player might decide himself to take that aggression, but now Bomez needs to go over top cack if he wants to go back to the A site. Gets forced back, and this is the right move from Stoll to help his teammate, putting him down to 88. Easy one-shot headshot anyway.
That can't be a legit name, right?
What is it?
Top Keck can't be a legit name, really?
It is. This is real.
Wow, that is amazing.
I know. He's probably the first one to take it, which is also surprising.
And
then on the other hand, there are 3 guys called Nico, so...
Oh yeah,
that's
there's...
like,
and Dennis. How many Dennises can we get?
I mean, there's one German Dennis with 1 N. There's this... I know 2.
The Swedish Dennis. There's a few other Dennises I've seen, but they're in the lower echelons of Counter-Strike. Oh my goodness, Breaky, he picks up 2 kills. The second will come in Rainwalker in reply.
That was a tight angle to take here by Rainwalker, but now he sees Bomez coming in. Death Spray could have actually went the other way, but it worked out in the end. And so it's going to be Stoll, Bustum, and Savy trying to keep themselves alive, and they do. 30 more seconds, and Rainwalker. There shouldn't be many options for him left here.
Definitely not. That all spawns off the aggressive 3-peak to Rip Pepperoni.
Did you see what happened? He was actually killed by the impact, not by the explosion.
Oh wow! No, I didn't know that is not something you see every day in Counter-Strike.
No, it's lovely though. I love that.
Yeah, that was excellent. But that all comes off the back of those 3 players playing aggressive and main for me. The Cash is a sort of map that can favour the T side when it comes to information plays, because you've got like 3 main choke points. You got middle, B, and you got A. The CTs are forced to use utility or they post an op up, and that using the smokes and gives a bit of info to the T side. It also lets them slow down the play. They know that there's probably not an op on that side of the map, right? But with the CTs, they don't see a smoke, so perhaps the ops play a more passive angle, so the T side are thinking that in their head, but they actually just go aggressive with 3 players and they're able to take down the opening kill.
Rainwalker, that could have been his frack. I'll give you my 2 cents about that in a second, because I have a very interesting same idea, but on the other hand, first of all, Bricky, brutal what he's doing right here with that MP9, can be so lethal in close range. There it comes, flashbang pops. And 100 iron. 100? What do you call him? 100?
Yeah.
100 sounds good.
In Russian, it's Sto, isn't it?
I know, Stoyan.
I don't know. Is he Russian?
No, Bulgarian.
I don't know. There's so many ways. In Bulgaria, they also say Proian, or I don't know. There's something. It's
weird. Don't ask me. But Rainwalker is the only one who can just do any more impact for HEADSHOTBG at this situation. He has the glass cannon in his hands, and it's just about the movement from Bomez or from Stoll. That could backfire. Full flashed. And now the options are there for Kliktech to come down. There's lining up. And that was actually Bomus getting hit. But he takes down Rainwaker, and that was such a tight situation. But he has the kit, can go for the defuse. And now, Dinko, I'm going to hit you with my 2 cents about smokes and early smokes of CTs. Because you have one problem, right? There's this median you need to find. You can throw an early smoke as a CT, and you block off the vision, right? No rush is possible, technically speaking. On the other hand, for the mid and late game, if after that certain round, you have no utility anymore. No blocking utility, at least. So I see what you mean, but I still have the problem that I would, by myself, would be never 100% sure if I throw it early or rather late.
Yeah, it also... But that spawns another problem. So you want to save your utility, obviously, but then that allows the T-side just to go for peaks and get in areas of the map early on here and take map control. And that's kind of a thing that you need to find that median. You need to find out. It obviously will change against certain teams. So if you know you're going up against a team that likes to try and find openings, plays a loose play style, then you're going to use your utility early. But if you're going up against a team that uses their default, their standard plays, and they're more of a tactical team, then that perhaps plays into the fact that you will use your utility later on in the round. And that's kind of the median you're talking about, I think, is just trying to figure out what type of team you're going up against. But it is going to be the full buy run, both teams finally. No AWP presence though on Headshot. So we'll see how that one plays out here.
And we see 4-4. I mean, in the beginning, when we take a look at the scoreboard real quick, it could have been just those guys from HEADSHOTBG finding it and one disconnected. Oh, something's not correct with the Bulgarian internet, it seems. But take a look at that A site, Dinko. 3 players are just waiting, and 2 are so close to Ayrton and his carried bomb.
Yeah, I'm probably expecting just a restart here, if that's possible, because they did lose a weapon.
Damage has been inflicted. I think Ian was hit beforehand. I don't know, they're still playing. They did not call for it. So I can imagine he's sticking to it. Bomus though, the positioning was a nice idea, but then Ricky gets actually caught off guard. The back has been turned, and that should have been stole, and he finds at least one, but Ayrton, he's the one who can do this 2 versus 2. 2 versus 1. My fault right here. That 2 versus 1 has to work out. He's fully flashed, though.
Yeah, and stuck inside of default. It's going to be very difficult to hang on here, especially since the player's going for the aggressive angle. Buston will jump up, spot out the player. He's going to slip through the smoke. This could be huge. Finds one.
But the flame. And he stands in the flame. That is actually Buston taking down Ayrton, who did the wrong kind of movement. He thought maybe he can step back. But, you know, I guess Buston did not intend to use the flame like that. But in the end, it becomes in handy, as it just holds off his movement. And
that was a very scrappy retake. Very scrappy.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, yeah, sometimes plays are scrappy, right? Sometimes they are just squishy, and you got to deal with them.
Pulse comes in. It's going to be server issues, I believe, for the team. They're maybe perhaps talking about switching server. I don't think that is the greatest decision. I think we should just get on with the show, really, at this point. The amount of delays we've already had, it'd probably be just great to carry on. There's no e-bot on the server, so I don't think there's any match medic either, so bringing over a save into the next server won't really be on the clock. Anyway, it's interesting to see Kliktech. They were down quite a few rounds in a row. 3 in a row, I believe. Headshot, maybe even 4. Let me have a look, actually. Make sure I'm correct. No, there was 3 in a row, then CT's 1-1, and then they got reset. So it's a good showing from the Kliktech to come back into this one. 5 rounds now on the board for them.
But I'm just, you know, in my head, I have a big problem with those back and forth games. Because it never gives you a real kind of overview how it should be and how it could be and so on.
Low economy buys throughout the whole entire game.
And it's like squishy and just it's just you know, back and forth games are like the game version of the verbal meh. It's like like where does it go? What happens? Because it can show great fights, right? But on the other hand, you're just shrugging and sitting there and just like, how?
Sometimes they're the closest games, though. Sometimes they can go to overtime a lot of the time, and then we actually get a blockbuster of a game. When you have one team that's absolutely dominating, they have the strong economy, then it sometimes becomes really boring. So it really is just finding that happy medium again. We talk about that already, but it is finding it. If you want to have a low economy buy, battle of the low economy buys. You're never going to really have a set out gun round, which counts is boring. So it really just comes down to teams being able to manage their economy well. If they go for the force buy in a correct way, then it'll work out and make the game interesting, because they can then reset the economy of their team. But when they go for force buys when it's really unnecessary, then that's when it becomes an issue, in my opinion.
True. Pretty much summing it up perfectly right there. And, well, HEADSHOTBG still not having their 5th player. And I think it's classic 15-minute till you have to continue. I guess, I imagine. Or isn't it when you take longer than 50 minutes, you're disqualified? Do you need...
I don't know.
I would have need to read through the rules, because I'm not even sure if you need 5 players to play at the tournament.
It assumes so. You may be able to get a stand-in.
True. But the thing is that stand listed, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think you have to list the stand-in. It's not like you can just hop in over the IP.
No. Like, dude, just join. You know, and all of Meister is just playing or something.
Yeah.
But it is legitimate, technically speaking, by the rules.
We're likely to see a buy come out here, actually, from the Headshot team, so they've got quite a hefty amount of cash in the bank. It doesn't look as though they're going to have enough for the AWP, so they're likely just see the full rifle buy come out. There's an op there on the CT side, so sometimes that op battle, I like to see it a lot of the time, because it does mean that certain areas of the map can be locked down and challenged, and we get to see perhaps the T side finally getting some map control. But there comes the player back into the server. It's HOPKek, so he doesn't have enough cash for the ops, that's for sure, so we're likely just to go see that full AK-47 buy yet again here for Headshot.
Well, there we go. Man, that took... I'm just showing you actually that you can win something great. And it is a lovely gaming chair. Or a $100 shop whoosher. So, if you would like to participate, the SEC Season 6 giveaway is existent. As well as you logically can also participate in the social media of this, guys. Keeping you active and keeping it updated with the newest stuff. So, don't forget about that.
Those ESL chairs are unbelievably comfy as well, so you definitely want to be entering that giveaway. A free chair, that's a really good option. You can't complain about free stuff, but it's not going to be free for Headshot. They're not going to have the AWP, they're going to have the 5 AKs and a scrappy bit of utility. HOPKek without anything really, just the AK, so he's got to find himself headshots. Now the CT's going for somewhat of a standard setup, with the T starting to pressure towards A. It looks as though they've just got to go full A. They've got 1 player inside of the squeaky and 4 towards main, and the impact plays need to come in, because look at the CT's whole vents. There's so many players on this side of the map at this point.
And a rotation from Bustum especially. The funny thing about him, he could just go up highway and would have nobody to meet early on. Nobody in the middle could shoot him down, but there comes the aggression. Has a little bit too much from Kliktech, but Bomas is successful in that situation. Rotates actually back out and pops smoke directly in front of him. No idea how he survived that for that long. But that 3 versus 2 is now happening as Bustum keeps up an angle, goes for the flame, perfectly timed. Nate does not impact him at all. And he wants to find at least 2. 100 as well as HOPKek are easy targets for a few tiny sprays. He sees the first, gotta turn around because there's one behind. Just directly him. But Savy comes in, there's that flame that could save it.
Wow. That was a perfect play from Bustum. Able to pick up the last 2 kills. It was a really, I don't know, it's a bit of a brawl there inside of main. So the CT's going with aggression to find themselves a lot of players. At least the flashbang was good, because if you walked in there without the flashbang and the players weren't blind, that's going to be the CT's falling every day of the week. So at least the flashbang was good. He was able to pick up a kill, fall back safely, and then get onto the site. And you can see that made the Headshot team panic. They ran out onto the bomb site, just running to get fights, and they didn't have the utility down. That ended up in losing another players. But finally, they reset themselves. They throw the smoke off the side, they smoke off the cross and get the bomb down, but the retake's too successful.
Yeah, and as you're just saying it right here, it seems like it all falls a little bit out of hand for Stoll. At least as he gets the first, Stoll is hungry for another. He's going good. HEADSHOTBG, suddenly 2 players are down already in the coffin. Now it's down to Ayrton. I love that he called himself Ayrton, by the way. Do you know Ayrton Senna?
Yeah, the Formula 1 racer?
Yeah, the last one who died, the one who was the last dying in a race.
Yeah.
First, it's just great name. Never seen that before. Ayrton. I know the impact. Maybe that is that. Ayrton #1, but
perhaps.
Perhaps.
Tapping into some meaning behind names.
I don't know. I mean, he got a weird muscular dude, I think it's from some kind of game, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's called. Is it not Arten Senna? I don't know. If
Ayrton. I think it's. I mean, that's how we call him. Ayrton is in German. What the hell do I know?
Open it up though. Topkick's got to scramble the brain of Baraki. He's got to take the kill. 100. He's able to get himself one, but Savvy with the damage. He's picked up two, and now it's all on Ayrton, the man in question, to clutch it out 1 versus 3 here, Vince.
Yeah, and that's a problem right now because he's bombed down, wants to fake it out, but Savvy is not here with 1, not here with 2. He's picking up a 3rd, and Kliktech, they're just a round away from taking the half. And then on, they can just extend to double digits and more if they like to. But first of all, we got to see how it will go, because that buy from Headshot, it looks very squishy. They're coming down to the essentials, and that just means Ayrton having a little bit of utility, and the rest just plays pure AK.
On the point of driving seat, it's definitely Kliktech in the driving seat here. They're going to be going for aggression every round here. They feel as though they'll mow them down. It's the P90 and the M4s there chiming in, and there we go. 5 players fall. Not much to analyze, just an absolute annihilation here.
Oh, you could analyze the movement, how quick they went there, and how fast they took the apex.
The minor entities, percentages of
wind, weather, what they ate, you know, if it put impact to them. But we see Kliktech taking the 8th, and so it will be HEADSHOTBG down lead to nothing else but just the pistols and a little bit of utility. 2 grenades, 2 flashbangs, and a smoke onto Rainwaker, which I find a really confusing name. But first of all, we see 100 picking up Bomus. See coming up the left side, picked up that AK. A lot of ground he's gaining. Stoll finally put some impact down, but he's down to 2 HP. Just a single hit of any kind of gun, and he's down in the grave. To see what is going to happen as the flame lands white, puts Ayrton into a different position. Smoke is going to come up next. That is going to get difficult for Kliktech to retake.
Yeah, we will open it up though, gives them a good option to get in on the bomb site. Bust him, gets the 2nd install with a 3rd, leaves it all on Rainwalker, and I'm afraid he's not going to be able to do much more than that 1 frag. And there we go. 250 of crumbles. That'll be the round for the Kliktech team, 9-4, and very good performance here. It's been the aggression. Ever since they have ramped it up, they've gone for aggression on the CT side, they've been able to get rounds, right? They've just been stomping Headshot. Although Headshot were able to get the bomb plant down and a lot of kills, I think 3 kills, so that's not such a bad outcome at all. Like, that's a good amount of cash, and you can see they're back onto the buy again.
Sure. And on the other hand, I mean, when I take a look right now,
Double up setup, ooh.
That's nasty as a CT, because you can build really massive, invisible defense walls, because, let's be real, who wants to peek against an AWP? Pretty much no one.
Exactly.
And once those thunder-like shots are hauling through the entire map, but first of all, take a look at Bricky. I'm not 100% sure if I'm happy with his positioning of the AWP.
No, that is weird.
It's a close-range angle. You can get caught out in the open really easily. Savvy, though, gains a lot of ground. Not only that is so much information he gives. Bomus peeks wide, finds 1, finds 2, beautifully done, finds a 3rd. Oh, he's hungry for all of those frags, but Stoll is here as an assistant. And that just means pretty much down to Rainwaker. His position is known. That should be in the hands of Kliktech.
That's actually really interesting, the point of the double ops. Usually, you would go for, when you pull out that double op, it allows for one player to play passive with the op, like a more turret style, while the other one gets a lot more aggressive. Both ops at that point were playing aggressive. So that's it just shows the mentality of Kliktech here. They feel like as though they're just stomping them at this point, and they are really, 10-4. Not much the T-side have been able to do. They've max 2 kills on buy rounds. It's starting to look very dire. They need to figure out something. Set pieces, perhaps even a default. Figure out what the teams are playing. Try and go with a buddy-up system to try and find a few frags, openings. All they need to do is really find something to work with, and it's easier said than done.
Well, I gotta say, I'm just a little bit confused by what I'm seeing so far, because on the one hand, they suddenly then took control, and it took a hell lot of control, but on the other hand, what is happening? As now it works with the flames, Berkey takes down Topkick. And so it should be at least HEADSHOTBG getting the bounce down, but no, there comes actually someone going aggressive, but Savvy finds at least that. Nate could be very hot, and he finds 1. Slovakian basketball team has arrived. And I think it's Slovenian.
Yeah, I think it's Slovenian.
Yeah. True.
Def pulls out his nade at the wrong time there, but he's able to react quick enough, hide behind the smoke, get the kill, and leaves it all on Savvy. He'll not be able to do much. And a 5-round scoreline for the Headshot side isn't exactly the worst outcome. They could have been 11-4, but they'll get themselves that 5th round. And with the pistol round, they could be back on the comeback trail, but the only success they really had was when they rushed A, right? They didn't have much tactical. They weren't giving me anything that made me feel as though they had a really tactical sound T side. The only thing that worked for them was aggressive on A main. If they tried anything else, it didn't work, and the Kliktech team just had the outing there. So it's likely that we'll see Kliktech take this map unless Headshot can start to wake up here on their CT side. They're going to go for the 4 sets of armor, defuse kit, double flash with a bit of utility here on this T side as well.
But what is kind of unusual to say it like that is, in that case, you could say this map is, in my point of view, very, very much like Dust 2 nowadays, just by the plays, of course, not by the design of the map. And that just makes it so frag strong. In case HEADSHOTBG can actually wreck themselves up and bring it to some great USPS plays, they might just take control of this faster than expected. But Bustum gets out, gives a lot of information to his team, as they're now also expecting here probably, okay, they're going towards the site. But Stoll can gain a lot of control. There's one in the corner. No chance for Ayerton. Rainwaker has to make it, but gets taken down by Bomas. Oh, Savi's nasty there. Just goes out, shoots twice, finds one. See you next time, HEADSHOTBG. It looks like they're taking a good kind of control.
Has just walked right into the site, gets at least one, but he'll finally fall after that second kill will come in. But just interesting on the topic, the thing is a little bit like Dust 2 in the aim battles away, but I sort of feel it's more similar to Cobblestone for the reason that Cobblestone, it allows for those splits, and that's what Cache really requires. That needs you to be able to intuitively take map control. Yes, that requires taking frags, but a lot of teams, if you watch on the highest end of Counter-Strike, their caches are usually played going for splits and other sort of, and sometimes smoke executes, but it's mainly down to splits. And Cloud9 are probably one of those teams that I actually think have the nicest types of splits on this map. And you'll see that a lot of teams, like Guardian, he's an absolute beast fragger, but feels so uncomfortable on this map for some reason. So I think it's all down to how you rotate on the CT side as well. It's kind of a map that rotates really do matter on that CT side. If you're not on that A bomb site on time when the push comes in for the T side, it's virtually impossible if your teammates have fallen already inside the bomb site and you're left with a 2 versus 3 or 4. So
yeah,
I think
I 100% agree. Just by the size of the map, it makes a difference. Especially, you know, you're not really right about the defaults. I agree with that partially, but I still see a major difference in holding A long and then rotating over and splitting it that way for B as a CT. But, you know, I think that's different from individual to individual. And Stoyan, yeah, there he picks up Bricky. That turns out not so great for Kliktech, and those rounds are the most painful ones. When you just run into pistols and you get taken down step by step instead of just making it work like a team with the better guns.
Savvy right through the smoke. He's able to pick him up himself and up at a headshot on the 100 in. Now puts it into a 3 versus 4. Man advantage still remains on the CT side. Oh, Savvy gets a bit of damage dealt, but not going to land the lethal shot. Now the T side, they've taken the bomb site. Hence the retake underway. And
there's going to be Savvy right now, necessarily finding Topkek, who jumps down and finds him. That should have never been the case, but in the other dimension, it seems like it works out for one. They're coming to the left. And the defense is there. That is incredible. Stoll finding free. Bust him only one. But that AK was on fire right now. 12-5. It looked like Kliktech are throwing this away against a bunch of pistols and submachine guns. But right now, back to it. And Headshot, their economy is far away from shining.
Yeah, their economy is very, very dire on the CT side. It's generally a lot harder to build it up, as I said in the first half. So it's a good decision not to invest really much into the run. The only thing they did was a CZ. I like to call that a pocket AK-47. The amount of kills they can get is unbelievable, even without armor. So never underestimate it. But the lack of utility and the rest of his teammates not having much, I don't think it's going to be able to do anything.
Sure. But I mean,
maybe
if you see it on the other hand, the ZZ is that kind of gun where you have just full replacement by every pro team. You barely see anyone. The TAC was a real competitor once in a while for that gun, but everybody stopped using it pretty much. Yeah,
it's because of the recent nerfs valve to it, dropping it down to 18 bullet ammo capacity. Its gunning accuracy has been reduced, and also the 5.7 got a bit of a nerf as well. So teams are starting to favour that CZ that came back into play. I don't think they've really changed it. I think people have just started to use it again, and it's a lot more. They've realised how valuable it actually is.
That's true. I'm just no big fan of the ZZ.
Really?
Nah, I
love
like
it.
It feels weird. It feels weird. I can tell you. It is just, I don't know.
I don't know if it's just me, but ever since Valve changed the gun sounds, I've struggled to play with a few weapons. Like, when I used to play with a Scout... Yeah. When I used to play with a Scout, I felt like a god with that weapon, and then as soon as they changed the sound, something clicked in my brain and I just can't play it anymore.
Psychological.
Yeah.
I think you associate something with it, and then on you think, oh, that is the way it works, blah, 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 blah. I'm not a psychologist, but I think there is something in our brain that associates sound with an action, and, you know, it was a new chapter that may be open for you. What the hell do I know? Maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know. I could be very wrong, to be very honest. Though I like the old sounds. Just when I take a look at it, it's just something you look back in the books and just say, man.
When I look back at the videos of the sound, some of them did sound pretty awful. But it's kind of like 1.6, so everyone thinks 1.6 is like the god tier Counter-Strike game, but you go back and play it, you're just like, what is this? It's still a good game, obviously, for its day, but once you realize after playing Counter-Strike Go so much, you really realize the kinks and stuff that was in that game. But it's kind of the same with the sounds. Any sort of change that is going to affect how you play or see the game or hear the game, in fact, it's going to mess with you a little bit. You're not going to like it for the first couple of minutes or first couple of days or weeks. Oh, opens it up as Bomas. There he goes, opens up the bomb side, then allows the T side to flow in. It's going to be top kick to find the first.
That looked could have been way more lethal here from HEADSHOTBG, but Stoyan as well as Ayrton having the slightest bit of a chance to get anything further here in it, and I'm not quite sure if HEADSHOTBG already gave up. I mean, on the other hand, there's still a qualifier tomorrow, so it's not like they're already out of it. Here comes Staffy. Takes down Stoll. At least one has been found, but getting those guns out of this round is so crucial right now.
Wicker is able to find one, so puts it into a 2 versus 2, but it's all done now, so they're just going to save those weapons, and it's pretty crucial that they do save it into that next round, obviously, keeping the armor of the M4s on board. Their economy is very dire, but even saving damage isn't really going to be a thing that they need to worry about at this point. They need to start getting rounds. 14-5 is definitely not around the round difference that they really want to have at this point. They need to start winning rounds. It's not about damage or economy anymore. It's about getting those rounds on the board.
100% agree. And what I'm asking myself, you need to help me right here. What the hell does Rain Waker supposed to mean? Like, does it wake with rain? Yeah, no, I mean, names have kind of meaning, right? Somehow.
Might be some anime character, I don't know. Just going off his picture.
You like animes?
Some of them. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them. I've watched 1 or 2.
I never did, so.
I mean, some of them are actually pretty addictive, and then some of them are just plain strange and make no sense, but well, I suppose where the niche market is.
True. And, you know, feels like right here, top 10 anime betrayals. Not happening here so far. We see no team kills. Trying to throw in those juicy memes when they're in the market, but well, Stoyan with the UMP keeps himself tied onto the A side, sees what he can find with a spray through that wall, flashes terror towards Miller and bust him as well as his teammate. Already flashed, seeing nothing for the moment, and they can't reconsider their movement. What I'm kind of surprised off, because I didn't pay attention, to be very honest, Kliktech don't have much utility anymore, though they're just actually so much in a chance to buy so much up regarding all the nades you can get.
Yeah, it's just openings coming in here by Savvy. He just cracks up on the bomb site. Quite another standard play coming in here. Kliktech just out-aiming them. Now Steph tries to do a bit of damage himself, but Stoll is able to reply with now 108. Left alone, 1 versus 4. It's going to be on the back foot again. It's going to be map point here. Kliktech just storming ahead. After losing the first couple of rounds in a row, they've just been full out, destroying them from that point onwards.
Funny story that actually those guys from HEADSHOTBG got themselves the last round of the first half. From then on, no more success during the second. Stoyan has no chance to survive against Savvy, and so it's going to be 15-5. And I think we both agree that just by tactics as well as by the skill, those guys from Kliktech are on another level.
They definitely are showing that they are a caliber ahead of HEADSHOTBG. So you can also tell that by just the straight up lack of respect, I would say, on their CT side. When they just went in for aggression every round, they felt as though they just out-aimed them. And again on the T side as well, they've been doing that as well. So here comes the aggression from HEADSHOT though. That's going to be a flip reverse, a little bit of a reply. But it's not going to do much apart from force them out of main. No goods to reap.
final one to strike. It's very fascinating that they rotated top keg very much towards white box in a wide angle right now. Closes himself in, thinks twice about the rotation, and so far Kliktech is forcing out nothing. There comes Savy though, takes a lot of control, hits him off guard, and Stoyan thinks twice about that aggressive approach, but he goes for Toxic, relocates himself, and that is a beautiful double smoke execution. Take a look at Stoyan. That is no way anyone can come for CT, and there his head is getting ripped off. That A side is taken, except Ayrton gets hungry. He does not, and I think we can call this a chapter finished.
That's got to be the last nail in the coffin. The player already disconnecting from the server, and the rest will follow. Rainmaker though is trying to keep the dream alive, but I don't think there's much of a chance to do much more. He has to pull off a 1 versus 3 with very little time left. He's still on highway. He'll slip in through Z. There's a player on his left, a player on his right, and he's got to take the fight as Knight. The player's still hiding in behind the car. He's got to run with his knife, and that's it. That's it over. 16-5. Kliktech. A very, very convincing game here on Cash as they take the one best of 1 against HEADSHOTBG.
Right. So we're just taking a little break. We'll just be with you in a bit. I cannot 100% tell you when, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Until then, we're going to take a little break. We'll see you in a second. That was Dinko and myself, Sesh. So stay tuned.